Hi guys, this is Mike from LivBay Lash. This channel is dedicated to all things lashes and beauty, and today we're gonna give you guys a quick talk about marketing tips. But before we do that, make sure to smash that like button below. We're gonna go ahead and show you guys some practical ways to decide which way to go with your paid media. There's so many distractions nowadays. People say, hey, should I go with Yelp? Should I go with Groupon? Should I try a Facebook ad? And there's so much confusion out there. But today we're gonna break it down, make it a lot easier for you. So let's start with Yelp, okay? Yelp can be a really great source when you're first starting out, but here's the thing you need to know about Yelp. When you set your business page up, you're gonna put the listing, the hours, the services, make sure to include lots of photos. The more detail you can give, the better. But I know what you're thinking, I'm gonna have grandma and mom and all my friends go on there and start leaving some really great Yelp reviews. And a lot of times that's not going to work out, and here's why. Yelp has an algorithm, is what they call it at least. But basically, if you guys are all sitting in the exact same room, on the same IP address, leaving reviews, Yelp has a unique way of picking that up. And all those great reviews that people are leaving, they're gonna immediately revert them to unrecommended, okay? So then you're gonna have a page with 22 unrecommended and no actual Yelp reviews that stick. The other thing is, when you get those Yelp reviews up there, you're gonna wanna make sure they're spaced out in the beginning, okay? If those Yelp reviews get put up, you don't want to be flooded the first day with 15 great 8+ Yelp reviews. You want like a good one here on Monday, maybe on Thursday, another one, and keep them staggered so that Yelp starts to understand that it's actual reviews and it's by different people and it's not all at the same time. And if you do that, once the reviews start sticking, a day or two has gone by and they're not going to unrecommended, now your page is up and running. And you can actually now call Yelp, speak to a representative, and what they'll do in the beginning is they'll say, hey, you know, you spend 150, we'll match 150. So for the price of 150, you're gonna get $300 in ad spend on your Yelp page. And what's great about that is we used to do this in the very, very beginning. It was really unique because what Yelp will do is when it gives the organic listings of like the top places to get your lashes done on Yelp, a little box will pop up at the top that says add above all, and that'll be your box that people can click on first before they click number 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you pay a little bit extra to Yelp, they'll actually even allow you to block people from advertising on your page, but make your ads appear on other people's pages when they're reading their reviews. Now, Yelp can be great once you get all those good reviews on there. It can drive a lot of traffic, but Yelp can also be a pain in the butt. One thing I've noticed with Yelp is they will not side with you if you get a bad review. It could be from a competitor. Maybe it's not even from a real client. It could be someone who's just trying to run your page and tank your business, and Yelp will not help you out. It does not matter how much money you're spending. Once upon a time, we were spending $10,000 a month on Yelp for all 3 of our salons because it was driving so much traffic. I highly recommend not doing that because you're gonna come out of the gate with a $300 budget. You'll get some great new clients from it. You're like, well, if I'm spending $300, maybe I should spend $600 or $1,000, and that's great up to a certain point. After that, what happens is the cost per conversion starts going up. In the beginning, when we were doing it, it was working really well, but other people found out we were on Yelp, so they started advertising on Yelp, and it got so competitive, it went from $2 a click to $6 to $7 to $8 a click. And now that big budget of $1,000 was doing the same amount of work as that $300 budget was in the beginning. So it's a great starter pack if you're looking for a great way to bring in traffic, but unfortunately it could also be a hindrance if you do it for too long. So it's not gonna be the end all be all, just know it's a quick fix solution in the beginning. Next, let's take a look at social media ads. You can run what they call Facebook or Instagram ads. And the number one question we get asked all the time is, how do I set it up? Do I want to do it for my personal page? Do I want a business page? Do I combine the two? And the short answer is you want to keep it a clean page dedicated strictly to business. And here's why. People want to see your work. They want to see what your message is, what you're about, you know, for lashes. They don't want to hear about your political view, your view on the war, their view on COVID vaccines, none of that stuff. And while it's great information, it's a business page. It needs to be for business. Number 2, Facebook owns Instagram, so you can link the 2 pages together. So when you post, it goes on both. You're gonna wanna put pictures of your work up front, like your best foot forward. Something that's like clean work, you've edited the picture, it looks great. No pictures of like little mustaches or zits in the photo. You want like your best foot forward, because remember, people are visual. So what's nice about Instagram is you can go on there with a $5 or $10 or $15 a day budget, and you can set your demographic to reach 2,000 people. Now, here's where it gets tricky. People will post a photo and they'll run that budget for 2 or 3 days, and then nobody's calling or converting or clicking on their ad, and then they start to get frustrated. The average person has to hear or see something 3 to 7 times before it goes from a short-term memory thought, which is only 17 seconds, to a long-term memory. So they'll scroll and see that ad multiple times before they finally go, light bulb, Here's an actual, she's selling lashes. I buy stuff all the time on Instagram. I bought this thing like to build a fort for my kids at home because I saw the ad about 50 times to buy these blocks to build a fort for them. So you gotta be consistent. The key to this thing is consistency. Be funny, be original. Make a funny video that no one's ever seen before, lash related. Know who your audience is. Don't make a funny video that's like inside lash humor joke that other lash artists will get. They're not buying from you. Know who your key demographic is. Do things that are eye-popping, catching, trendy. You got a 5-second window to catch someone's attention. People can make up their mind right away in the first 5 seconds if they like you or not. And if that thing doesn't grab their attention in the first 5 seconds, then they're gonna go on to the next thing. Set that budget, $5 or $10 or $15 a day, and set it for the first 30 days, okay? Keep constantly brainwashing people, subtly making them watch that video. Eventually enough people will see, enough awareness will build, and people will start clicking to see pictures of your work. And when you set that budget, you can make sure it's doing the same thing on Facebook as it is on Instagram. Don't just assume one's gonna go better than the other because you don't know that until you start advertising. But again, don't give up on it yet because you gotta run that thing for multiple days. I think it's $5 a day right now, unless their cost has gone up. It should target about 2,000 people a day for you. And if you were to go out and actually pound the pavement and meet people and hand out business cards, it would take you forever to talk to 2,000 people a day. We live in a society now where everything is instant gratification. We swipe left, swipe right for a date. We don't have time for all that stuff, so this is the perfect spot. And if you don't have an Instagram account, you don't believe in social media, get one strictly for your business. I don't care if you hate it, it's gonna be your best friend when it comes to advertising. Last, I wanna talk about Groupon, okay? While Groupon can be a great avenue in the beginning for certain businesses, I personally feel like it's not a great thing for lash industry. Here's why. With lashes, if you go on Groupon, right, and you run an ad, with Groupon, you already have to be cheaper. So let's say in your area, classic sets are $100 a set. You're automatically gonna have to come in at $60 a set, like 40% off on Groupon, okay? Just to get people to wanna buy and get their attention. So now our set price is now $60. Groupon takes over 50% of that for themselves when you advertise. So now, when you get that set in for $60, you're only getting about $28 or $30 of that actual set for a full set of lashes. And here's what you're thinking. All right, well, at least I got them in here. I got their attention. I won them over. They're gonna be my client for life. If they found you on Groupon, they are shopping for a deal and they're probably cheap. God forbid they get one lash come off on their outer corner or a little spot. They're gonna be constantly hitting you up for free touch-ups. And when it's finally time to get a fill, guess what? They're not gonna come back and pay $80 for a fill. They're gonna go right back to Groupon and look to get another cheap deal. You know what I mean? They're gonna find somebody else who's advertising for cheap so they can get another discount. So Groupon's great for certain things, you know what I mean? But it's for a beauty industry to try and retain clients, you're gonna have a lot of, and this is just from personal experience, you're gonna have a lot of uphill battles trying to persuade people to come back in and spend more money on those fills. So I'm strongly against it. I think it's a good source if maybe you were opening a restaurant and trying to do cheap meals just to get people in to try the food. But for the beauty industry, just know that your client base is going to be constantly looking for that cheap service, and they're always gonna try and nickel and dime you. And God forbid, like I said, if it's ever free touch-up time, they're just gonna braid you to death until they keep getting as much free crap out as you can. And it's gonna cause you stress, and you're eventually gonna wanna break up with them anyway. Hopefully you guys got a ton of great value from this video. Question for you guys is, how do you plan on advertising? Go ahead and leave your comments below, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.